Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite Written Writ Ralph here, talking to you straight from our show here, Apple Bites, where we take a bite out of the apple and share it with you. And Matt, it's funny. I was going to tell you something, and I might as well say it on the air because
sure.
Twitter has decided that we need to pay in order to stream.
You know what's funny? I was just about to tell you the same thing. I was gonna open the show with that. Like, no, up yours, Elon scum. I'm not giving you money.
I mean, come on, yo, Elon Musk needs money. I mean, he's poor. Like,
bro, did you hear about the time that people? Did you hear about the time that people crowdfunded money to buy him a couch because they heard he sleeps in his office? Like, if he wanted a couch in his office, he would just buy it himself.
Wow.
Unreal.
I
Go fund my couch.
I cannot.
To have that much money and then have people send you more money when
it bugs me out because
Can you imagine if Kickstarter worked like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I see people do that all the time where this rich person comes into their place and then they start giving him things for free. I'm like, well, you're giving him things for free. He can pay for his stuff, and I'm like, and I know it's like one of those things where, oh my God, so and so went to my place and blah 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 blah. But at the same time, why are we giving the rich people free stuff?
Dude, it pisses me off when, like, especially when it's food.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, they can afford that $4 sandwich. Like, come on, give me that for free.
You know what's the greatest rich people hustle that's totally illegal? They find an artist that's like nothing. They'll buy a painting from him, maybe $5-10 or whatever, or a cheap price. They'll throw a big party for him, invite all the rich friends, and the next thing you know, his paintings are worth millions and millions of dollars. That painting that they bought for that cheap money, they'll sell it for millions and millions of dollars.
Yep. And they'll keep circulating it.
No taxes on it. It's crazy.
That's literally how the art collection works. Like, that's literally how, like, the fine art world works.
Yeah.
AKA money laundering.
Yeah.
It's not really money laundering so much as they become patron. Like, we become your patron and pay you for all of your work, and then we use our connections to get all of our yuppie friends interested in your stuff, and then we resell it at a astronomically higher rate and make money off of it. It's the same thing as like flipping a house.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just
except you're not doing anything to the painting.
No,
you're
making the artist a commodity.
I feel like that's what the rich people go. We're giving you a service. We're making you into something.
I think I just had a stroke. I can't.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just saying that's just how it works.
I know how it works.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Elon Musk, you want to sponsor me? Hey, I mean, I can use your car.
If only, like, as much shit as everybody has to say. If Elon Musk were to come up to you tomorrow and be like, "Hey, I'd like to bankroll your next 5 years of creating," I'd probably be like, okay.
Yeah, no, I have no shame. My dignity is for sale. That's okay.
You could always have a pseudonym.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need it. Like at that point, like
I go by the letter A, and I wear a mask. Right?
You've got Elon Musk promoting your brand. It doesn't matter what anyone says.
No, finally, I can use the alias M. Night Schlong.
Oh, God.
Finally.
So, Mike, we're going to start with you because we want you to let the people know how it's going, and especially because I got my beautiful book now.
You did.
It showed up.
I'm so happy for
and I'm like, look at these folks. Look how beautiful this is.
Is that a metal cover?
Oh, wait, hold on.
It's a hollow foil. We did.
Yes.
We unlocked one of the stretch goals on that Kickstarter, so they got the hollow foil treatment.
That's awesome.
That A cover by
that artwork deserves to be a hollow cover. It's so beautiful.
Yes, and we're excited for the art that we have on here. So this is the Embrace 2, which is the follow up to the book that Raph was just holding up. For those that don't already know, the Embrace is a story about a grieving father whose son was murdered, and the case has kind of gone cold. And so in this act of desperation, he's about to take his own life when the ghost of his son David shows up and stops him. And when they come together for an embrace, David's ghost gives his father a vision of what happened that night. And when the father, Clarence, comes to, he's in a super suit powered by his son's ghost. And so together they are going after David's killers to bring them to justice. It is a book that delves into the themes of loss, fatherhood, and it kind of plays with the dynamic of justice and vengeance. So
I still love the fact that you went a whole different way with this than the normal way, the usual way, because it's always like, oh, he comes back, he's a dark person,
It's been done a million times. I really liked the idea of reinforcing that our kids are the best parts of us. And so like you've got this 8-year-old kid that's come back as a ghost. He's not here with a vendetta. He's here to save his dad, right? And so that's kind of like the big driving dynamic of the story. And this is its second chapter. So we've got our artist Dean James, who's come a very long way since the first book. The first book was actually his first comic. So it's really cool to see him kind of grow and like really just develop as an artist. We have a new colorist as well in Eugene Bedevu that just does tremendous work on Dean's lines. They really pop.
That splash page is amazing.
Look at that thing.
Good question. Did the name Clarence come from clairvoyance, or is that just a
not
extremely
like
cool happy accident? Because that
the real reason why I chose the name Clarence was because I wanted it to be like the least epic sounding name on the face of the planet. I really wanted it to be that you would never expect this guy to be the hero. His name's Clarence Griffin. He's like the most he's a when you meet him, he's a complete emotional mess, but like he's a very like plain dude.
It's like the least threatening name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like nobody's expecting the superhero to be named Clarence, and that was actively something that I was going for when naming the character. But it is a cool thing to kind of have like the kind of play on clairvoyance. I do like that.
I remember that Saturday Night Live sketch. I know my name is Clarence, and I like to do drawing.
But, yeah, I gotta say, I really like when last we left David and Clarence Griffin, they had turned in David's killers to the police. However, there is more to death than just the boy who handled the knife. No, something sinister lurks in the shadows of Alexandria, Virginia. I love when people give you a little bit of, hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that's the whole thing. Is I wanted people to like, when they're reading the campaign, I don't want to overbear them with like a full blown, here's like a 10-paragraph summary of everything that's happened in the first book going into the second book. It's like, no, like we're going to make sure that we catch people up in a sense with the story so that they know what they're walking into. But like the big thing that should be on display on the campaign is obviously the art. And so like this second book, we have, the Embrace has kind of been doing his thing and causing a little bit of trouble. And so the police captain's trying to figure out what's going on, and Clarence isn't answering the phone calls. So it's making things a bit difficult.
So do you offer in this Kickstarter, do you offer the original book as like an add-on as well?
So we have a catch-up tier, and we do also have a buy the first book tier. And the really cool thing about that is we carried over one of the covers from our Second Chance Kickstarter that we did a month ago, the Joel Gomez Virginia Victims Assistant Network cover. So we had this cover that I had Joel Gomez do, and we partnered it up with this organization that hosts support groups for homicide survivors. So effectively, the friends and loved ones of homicide victims. So like it was just a cool way to, give back and have the Embrace actually, make a difference in the real world and have a kind of real world effect and help people that have suffered through the same tragedy he has.
That's really cool.
Oh, I had a quick question. Is that Moe's a Simpsons reference?
It is both a Simpsons reference and a stream chat reference. There is a guy that hangs around in a lot of the chats that Dean and I will do to promote called Mo Biggs, and it's MO instead of MOE. So like we had it kind of set up like the Simpsons Mo's, but then it's Mo.
Brilliant.
Mo Biggs. So yes. Like lots of nice little Easter eggs for the people that have been really big supporters of our work throughout the past couple of years.
Love it.
A lot of the line work is amazing. Some of those pages look like it took a really long time.
Oh yeah.
Dean has definitely been taking his time, and he has really leveled up. Like if you look, like the art in the first book is good, but like when you see where he is at now.
Right.
It is night and day, and it's really impressive. And so this is our B cover by Irene Strachowski and Ivan Pineda. So we have kind of a clash going on between the Embrace and Strangle, who is our like big villain that gets his kind of time to shine in this book. Because every good superhero book needs a good supervillain.
Exactly.
So, but yeah,
it just looks badass.
he is a vicious mother effer. Like he is not fun to deal with.
He's so evil that when you mentioned him, somebody's dog started barking.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Like nope.
100%. Perfect timing. I couldn't have asked for better.
Yeah.
Then we have this cover by Ira Macias, who did Spider-Man Last Hunt with Marvel, colored by Avery Ferdinand. Kind of went for this kind of Spider-Man feeling cover, and I think that it really turned out great.
It does feel like it, yeah.
Like I'm even going to try and you know how in those like old Web of Spider-Man books they would like curve the Spider-Man logo and put like a web behind it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and do that with the Embrace 2 logo. I'm gonna try.
Oh, that sounds good.
We'll see. If it works out, awesome. If it doesn't, I'll just forgo that. It's the normal trade dress on there. And then this is Michael Bancroft of the Lucent did this cover for us. He's gotten a lot of guff for his ability to draw hands, so we broke his hand issue. So
how you know it's not done by AI.
It is funny because in the Lucent one he got a lot of guff because there's this one hand he drew that looked like a ginger root. So when I hit him up about this cover, I was like, yo, this is what I want. I want you to put as many of the hands in there, but then I want you to play Where's Waldo and put the ginger and hide the ginger root hand in the piece. And so there is a ginger root hand hidden in this cover. You just got to find it.
Wow. I love when people put little things in there. Go find it.
Remember those McFarlane, the Amazing Spider-Man covers where he would always hide like a little spider in every cover? And then once you noticed it, you'd go back and look at all the older covers to see if you could find the spider.
And so this one is done by Shelby Robertson. It is a limited edition. We're making this our limited haunted edition. It is glow in the dark, signed and numbered.
Wow.
Only 50 will be done. And this is actually like the way it's going to work is I'm going to be doing Indiegogo, then Fund My Comic, then Kickstarter. And so as it progresses through each campaign, however many we have like left of the 50 going into the next campaign will determine how much of a price hike it gets.
Oh, wow.
So like right now it's at 50, but when you get to Fund My Comic, we've already sold like 10 of them. So like it's going to be a little bit more expensive. And then by the time you get to Kickstarter, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. So
supply and demand.
Exactly.
Yes. Like, and that's not the only thing that we're actually carrying on over through the campaigns. our stretch goals will be going on throughout all of the campaigns. So wherever they're unlocked, it will apply to all of the campaigns, and that goes forward and backward. And we're not doing tchotchkes. We're investing them into the covers. So like the first stretch goal, which we unlocked, is the main cover of the book by Dean James, gets a UV spot gloss treatment.
Nice.
And then our next stretch goal, which is in a little under 1,500, is we make that second cover a lava holofoil. And then third cover will be the third stretch goal, which will be like a silver metal foil. And then finally, the rainbow foil for that Bancroft cover is our final stretch goal on here. So, yeah, lots of really good stuff on the campaign.
That's great, because it's like sometimes you see people offering all of these merch things. It's like, oh, we have like plushies and this and that, and you're like, I haven't even read the comic yet. I don't know if I want these things yet. So it's great that you're just investing into just making a better physical comic.
Yeah, well, and I mean, we have the extra stuff like that available. Like I've got a collector box that comes with a mini print
yeah, you
gallery.
do have a plushie. I've seen it in the last.
And I mean, I have one here. Like they're big. They're like 18 inches tall. They're massive and adorable.
Also very well made.
Yes. But like, so like we have that kind of stuff available, but I don't want that to be like, I feel like a lot of the tchotchke stuff at this point, crowdfunding's been a big thing for the past 4 or 5 years at this point. All the tchotchkes are starting to fill up our desk drawers and long boxes is what it's really coming down to.
Yeah.
So I'd rather take the money that we're spending on that and invest it into upgrading the cover quality, because it's going to cost, by the time you take into account the price per unit and then the cost it takes to ship it to either you or your fulfillment center, you're spending the same amount as upgrading a cover, maybe even more. So it's like, why not just invest that into the actual quality of the book, make it special for your campaign backers, and have it be that only those people get that edition of the book. So like that's what I'm planning on doing with it.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's a good way to reward people who are helping you pretty much build this from the ground up.
Yeah, like I'm pretty excited about it. I'm hoping that we get some excitement behind it, but I mean we're already doing fairly well.
Y'all are killing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Despite Indiegogo's best efforts.
Of course.
Shadow bans.
They have to try to stop you.
Of course.
Yes.
I feel like that's all platforms now. They're just finding a way to keep people down. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I didn't have that issue with Kickstarter. I do think that the way that like the campaigns we love thing is very I'm trying to think of the right word.
It doesn't really matter.
Like I just like, I mean, campaigns we love is something that should matter and like the fact that it gets you like it's supposed to actively promote your book on like the front pages of Kickstarter is like a really cool thing, but to get there is very arbitrary. Like the amount, like the amount of stuff that you have to do right is just weird.
I mean, some people also say that like you can just email them and ask for it, which like kind of defeats the purpose too.
So I can comment on that because I did a Kickstarter for my game, and I was told by someone to reach out and ask about it, and I did, and they were all about it. And then the campaign came and left, and then afterwards they wrote back like, "Hey, we loved everything. We'd love to make it a campaign we love." And I'm like, "The campaign's over."
Yeah, it's like, yo, man, that's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
you guys were awesome. So helpful.
3 weeks ago when my campaign was live. Thank you for that. Though.
Wow. It ran for 30 days, and like it took them that long to just be like, "Yeah, man, we love this. Let's do it." And I'm like, "It's too late. Thanks for nothing."
Wow!
Amazing. totally mind-blowing.
When they say something is one of the Kickstarters that we love, does that do anything to help the algorithm?
It's supposed to.
It's arbitrary. I've heard like from my own comics groups and stuff that they're like, no, not really. It's just kind of like a fancy title.
Yeah,
it's a fancy title. I think the big thing though is that like there is a projects we love section on the
it gets it in its own section.
Like which does technically boost you, right.
So, it doesn't do anything additional other than put them on your page like as a project we love. Like you're not going to appear more in like ads and stuff. It's still just going to be whatever it is.
Yep.
Like that's something that you'd probably have to pay for or negotiate something ahead of time, right? Like if they're going to invest marketing towards your book, there's got to be some form of agreement ahead of time in terms of like maybe an increase of the percentage that they take out or this, that, the other.
I feel like that wouldn't be super fair if they had something like that. Like it would completely like de-level the playing field, because then it's like whoever has the most money will always get like the most backers. And yeah, I can't see that ever being a thing. And if it is, I'm gonna like raise hell over it.
I mean, there probably is in all reality.
I mean, there's third-party companies that will do marketing for you, but the results, like your mileage may vary.
Well, but like Boom has an actual like marketing budget, and they do campaigns through Kickstarter all the time. And I have ads showing up on my Facebook feed whenever they get
right, but it's not Kickstarter running the ads. It's like a third-party company, or it's Boom themselves running the ads. So like I'm fine with that. But if Kickstarter ever becomes pay to win, like there's going to be hell.
I mean, at least as an outsider, at least it seems well put together. It doesn't seem shilly. Like there's a lot of things that are just shilly. Like, wow, this is the greatest movie ever. This is the greatest comic book ever. 10 out of 10. This is great. And next month, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Everything is suddenly like best picture of the year. Like it would be like January 1st, 2025. They're like, this is best picture of the year. And it's like, yeah, so far.
If everything is best picture of the year, and one thing is best picture of the year. It's like.
But there is something kind of like that happening in at least the gaming side of Kickstarter.
Interesting.
So I learned a lot, and I can't reveal how I found out this information because I don't want to get any companies in trouble.
Who'd you have to kill?
But when I was pricing out and getting quotes, for a cost of product, cost of shipping, and everything, a lot of people when I launched my Kickstarter initially were like, "Why is it so much money? Why does it cost this much for this much product?" And I'm like, because that's basically like I gave them my cost breakdown without giving exact numbers, but just being like, "Hey, all this would cost this, and then there's like a percentage markup for my time for just in case I'm having this production, whatever." I said, but here's the shipping, because I'm finding that certain companies, what they've done is they've basically made these impossible for independent creators to hit. So the people with the most money, again, I don't want to go into any particular brands, but they'll launch a game, put like 100 minis, make the pledge $100, and everyone goes in. It does millions of dollars because they're hoping for quantity over quality at that point when it comes to pledges. And then when it comes time to ship it, they charge you $150 for shipping.
Yep. Yeah. They charge after the campaign is over through like backer kit or pledge box or whatever.
Which is insane because that's not even something you can fight at that point.
Because they've already got your money. I've seen people do that with comics too, where it's like you pay $10 for a floppy, you pay for shipping after, and suddenly shipping is like $15, and you're like, all right, just keep my $10. Like, screw you. I'm not
like this is one of the most toxic things that has come through Kickstarter. Like, I get that backer kit is a very useful tool, but this whole I'm gonna fucking get you right as the book is coming out, and I'm not gonna charge you for shipping up front. Like literally everyone else. Like, look, man, you should know what your shipping rates are gonna be. You should know what you it should be like a base. You create like a base cost that covers everything that covers like your medium shipping costs, because shipping obviously varies depending on how far away they are from you or wherever. So it's like that way you gain money on you are making money on packages that are going like next door to you, but then you lose money on ones that are going super far away, but then you're like striking a healthy medium where like, you know, where your price point is.
Yeah, there's
So
a balance to it.
out.
So that's actually something that blew my mind, because I was in a meeting with one of the leading distribution companies for gaming, and they said, okay, you know, your cost to ship to, let's just say, Texas will be $25 for an all-in pledge. I said, okay, great. They're like, but that's not, you know, whatever you want to charge, you know, is what you charge. I said, what do you mean? If it charged $25 to ship, why would I charge any more?
Wow.
And they were like, oh, because some companies, you know, they'll charge like, you know, double just to pad their profits a little more. And I was like,
that's like holding your product for ransom at that point.
Yeah.
Well, like it's practices like that make me livid that these companies are coming in. Like I was speaking about Boom doing Kickstarters. A while back, they did their Mighty Morphin Power Rangers hardcover run, and that was bullshit. It was like $100 per hardcover book. I'm like, I could get the entire hardcover collection of Neil Gaiman's Sandman for under $100.
Yep.
To me, it was like, you guys are just gaslighting the fans of MMPR to spend all this freaking money on something that is going to cost you maybe $20 per book to print, and then on top of that, it's already an incredibly profitable series for you guys. That the Boom MMPR run was amazing and got like video game spin-offs and shit. Like it brought in money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
But here's the other thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Please.
Oh, you're good, man.
I was going to say, and the other side of that you're talking about right now is what people don't realize is one of the things, because I mean, when we get to my thing, I'll talk more about the community and everything surrounding the game. But the community that I ran my game in is an expansion for a community that's already very hostile. So when I posted my shipping prices saying, these will ballpark, they're shift a few dollars based on where you are, but like to ship to, you know, the company I'm going to go with is actually going to send a separate boat to pick up direct from the manufacturer and take it to Europe to avoid all these extra fees instead of bringing it to the US and shipping it back. And people said, that's not how shipping works on Kickstarter. I don't believe you. I'm not backing this game.
Wow.
And that blew my hand to God that was said to me. I was like, that's crazy.
It's like the more transparent you are, the angrier people get for some reason.
On my game, I'll tell you, it was horrendous. I mean, it was absolutely heinous to a point that I actually had to step away from all social media for like a week.
Oh my god.
Because of how bad it got from me going, okay, here's a breakdown of everything, and people just going, I don't believe you. That's not how this works. And I'm just like, I'm literally sending you screenshots of my stuff. What are you talking about? So it was crazy.
That's absurd, man.
But because of what's going on with these companies going into the Kickstarter, that's what I have to deal with, or anyone else has to deal with trying to do a Kickstarter, is you do the honest thing and then people go, no, you're lying. And it's
because I mean there are so many other, like, you know, creators and companies and stuff that have just done people so dirty that by the time you're here and you're like, hey, I'm being honest, they're like, I don't trust you. And like full transparency here, I will not back any campaign that does not charge shipping up front. I refuse. I flat out refuse. I'm not going to do that.
It's not okay.
I'm not paying $15 for a comic and then having to pay $20 shipping afterwards. Like, this is not happening.
Right. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. Like, I gave estimates for like the overseas stuff because I said, you know, as we get closer, you know, I can give you more definites, but it shouldn't change too far from this because I don't know what it's going to do.
No, shipping should be $3. What's wrong with you? You're lying. You're inflating your costs. You're padding your profits.
You are absolutely triggering hard emotions right now.
I'm sorry.
$3 for shipping. Oof.
So if it helps, they don't actually sound like that. So.
They sound just
they
like
totally
that.
sound just like that. Are you kidding me?
So Drew, tell the people a little bit about your stuff here. Go for it.
So what I created was a board game. It's an expansion to a board game called Super Dungeon Explorer, or now it's more commonly just referred to as Super Dungeon. It was a chibi board game that it was a dungeon delver. You just chose 5 adorable chibi heroes. You fought a bunch of chibi bosses. That's the game right there, set up in my basement with my player group. And it's just, you play through, you have fun. And my expansion, what it did was I just started running my own campaign rules. So now you have like this D&D feel to it while also doing the one-off dungeons. So now you're taking your characters. There's a story that goes with the game now, and you're able to level your characters up, ultimately giving you kind of like a D&D light, almost like a World of Warcraft experience where you'll go through dungeons, you'll go through endgame raids where you bring more heroes with you than as opposed to a regular dungeon. And it's all just cute little minis and stuff. It's just a really fun game to play.
I love the art style. It's adorable.
Listen, it's what hooked me on the game when it first came out. I was like, this is kind of cute. I kind of want to play this.
I'm such a sucker for cute fantasy art. It's not even funny. It's adorable.
Oh, then he's got to throw up some of the artwork for the pages in the book and stuff.
Oh, wait till you see the artwork. Yeah. Right now I'm showing off his little figures because they look fantastic. Dude.
So basically, I'll cheat. I'll show you a little troll queen right here.
What is it?
Ooh.
Adorable.
It looks fantastic.
Also, yeah, the level of detail on that is
exactly.
But I'll really spoil you now because this one is the most popular mini I've put out for it.
Wow.
Ooh.
She's a little delusional spider lady.
Relatable.
And she has 2 sisters.
Amazing.
And they're the daughters of Jorogumo, which is one of the bosses from the main game. But a Jorogumo is a real like spider lady in Japanese culture of like kind of horror. That is the big bad of the entire game he just put on the screen. That's Lady Celeste. The whole story is about her and her rise to power. And you have to defeat her in the end. She's really, really cool.
Also, sick ride. What is it?
Exactly, yeah.
So her ride is Mr. Buttons is his name.
Love it.
The story opens with her as a very little girl in her village that's being overrun by the chibi undead. And her teddy bear is like her lovey. So when she gets rescued, the prologue ends with the little bear in its own suit of armor as she's older, attached to her hip as she's going into battle as now one of the paladins to fight the chibi undead. And as she falls to corruption, she turns her little stuffy into a full-blown undead bear that she rides into battle.
Wow. I love everything about that.
And he's still called Mr. Buttons.
Oh
excellent.
My god.
And
I
actually,
gotta say, you're gonna fight Mr. Buttons. Hold on.
There they are in all their glory.
Oh, I love them.
I feel like you got something. So I think some people just buy it for the figure itself.
So yeah, definitely some people buy it for that. But basically, what had happened was the company who made the original game had a successful Kickstarter that unfortunately never saw the light of day. And when that happened, the community got very volatile because I was one of the all-in backers. That was a $300 pledge that never came through.
Ooh. Wow. I felt like I just got punched in the gut when you said that. You're
talking about 6,000 backers too.
Damn.
Because it funded for 1.5 million.
Woo!
And listen, you can go on the page and read all about it. It's crazy. I don't think people's reaction to it warranted some of what they said.
Oof.
Because there were like death threats to the company. I'm like, this is crazy. Like it's a loss. I get it, but like it's not that serious.
Yeah, it's not like commit a felony serious here.
Right. So basically, I just started. I said, you know what? I don't care what the company does. I'm gonna do my campaign rule set. My dad had prostate cancer. Got diagnosed with it. Loved playing Super Dungeon with me and my friends. So I just said, you know what? Screw it. It makes him so happy. It keeps his spirits up while he's going through this.
Aww.
I'm just gonna keep writing and expanding on it. He is cancer free, by the way, to this day now. So he's
amazing.
All good.
Yes.
That's awesome.
But yeah, love you, Gary. But he was one of the reasons I said, I'm just gonna keep going, see what happens. So then over time, I just started developing minis for it, and the company saw it, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Uh oh." And they said we should really have a phone call about this. I was like, "Oh no!"
Wow.
Thinking you're in trouble. Again. I just got sent to the principal's office.
I'm like, I'm not selling them. I'm not doing anything wrong. This is all for my group. What's the problem? And basically, I met with the original creators of the game who were part of the company, obviously because They had to get the rights to the game, but they're the original creators before they joined forces with the company that kind of dropped it. And they were like, "Hey, dude, like we love what you're doing. Like, what's your plan?" And I was like, "I would love to sell this to people on a Kickstarter, or whatever." And nutshell of that story is they basically gave me an OGL to create it and sell it, and they get nothing from it, and I just get to put it out there. So
amazing.
Wow.
So it gets so people who have existing collections that got burned get to keep playing the game because my rule set is 110% backwards compatible. Everything you own prior to my version of the game is usable 100%. Nothing's been left out.
Yeah.
And
great.
And so what this game touts is it has 3 end game raids, which lets you bring 10 heroes instead of like the normal like 3 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
What you have on the screen right now is one of them, the Mistborn Temple, the Mistborn Ziggurat, where it's just something that you're going to play over multiple sessions. Epic raid bosses, like this one has the Troll Queen in it with her husband, the Troll King, and they team up in unique fights that you've never seen before in the game. It's really, really fun. It's a lot of different tactics. And as we talked about, I was at Long Island Tabletop Expo. I was running demos of the game, and every game was booked out, and we had multiple people standing around. Everyone was just, they loved it to death, and they thought, obviously, it was cute, but also a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's the cuteness that hooks you in, and the game keeps you playing.
Yeah.
His table was always full. It was always people there. There was always I was like, I'll get them later when it's less crowded.
I'll tell you, I actually got super sick at the end of that con because I was talking so much and going so hard that like when Sunday it all ended, my body just shut down. It's like, you're going to be sick for the next 4 days.
Oh no, the old con plague.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was bad. It was real bad.
The con crud.
Yeah. So, I mean, just to nutshell the end of the story for you, I put it live on Kickstarter 2 days before the Kickstarter went live. Now you got to understand, I booked the booth for Long Island Tabletop. I had promo material out. I was the sponsor of Long Island Tabletop, so if you still have that badge, WASDEC is on the badge.
Yeah, I remember.
So all that was there 2 days before. So that Thursday, Ninja Division, the parent, not the parent company, the company that was distributing all this and had the failed Kickstarter, announced their bankruptcy.
Wow.
Oof.
So all those old sentiments and hatreds flooded my Kickstarter, flooded it.
Yikes.
And led to that's not how shipping works. That's not the Kickstarter way. You know, I don't understand your pricing. This should be $45 for everything. You know, you owe that.
In what universe?
Listen, the game has over. Well, I include 20 minis in it. One of which is the biggest mini in the game that's ever been, which is the dragon right here.
Look at that beautiful dragon.
Well, that's nice.
That's awesome.
And he's on a peak of the Plague Throne, which is the big end game raid.
Mm.
So in the game, the biggest mini that they released was an ice dragon, which was a 3x3 tile like base. This one is 4x4. It's the biggest of the entire game.
Oh my goodness.
And they're like, yeah, that should be like $50. And I'm like, I can't sell you all this for $50. It costs more than that to make.
Yeah, it's like, do you want me to go bankrupt too? Is that what it is?
And they said, well, if you're doing Super Dungeon, you owe that to the Super Dungeon community. I'm like, I didn't make the original game. Like, this is just my house rules. And
I can't with people. I cannot.
That's so shitty.
Listen, I learned a lot in that Kickstarter. I actually, if you go to the Kickstarter page, you'll see it. It says canceled. I canceled it in the last few days. I think in the end, it was like still $19,000 pledged. Like, it wasn't like it was doing bad.
No,
that's really good.
Yeah,
but it wasn't going to hit the goal. It was just really bad timing. And the way I had the goal set up, it was my first Kickstarter. I said, you know what? Let me cancel this. I'm going to take some time, reformat and relaunch. I'm going to relaunch in October. October 8th, I'm going to go live again with it. And I'm going to basically make it God, I'm going to say this word wrong. Smorgasbord? Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to say it wrong every time I say it. But so basically, you can do 2 different pledges. It's going to be the core pledge for existing people who just need the new rules.
Mm-hmm.
A core pledge for people who have never played the game before that want to get into it, which includes all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And then each endgame raid is going to be its own separate add-on, and all the heroes are going to be their own separate add-on. So you can there will be an all-in option, but you can just pick and choose what you want if you really want to. And I'm working with the manufacturer and the distributors, lowering costs as much as I can. But it's crazy. I learned a lot this Kickstarter, and the community is very angry about the game. That's the cover of the rule book right there.
Adorable.
Love it. Love the art. Yeah, when he sent me all the stuff to look at for the show, I was like, oh my god, the art's fantastic.
So this artist is actually from Poland. His name is Blaze, but his like Instagram is like Vlipkade or something like that. I never say it right because it's weird. But
Polish is an interesting language as well. So if it's in Polish, like good luck pronouncing it.
So I had reached out to him, and he did a logo for like just Team Drew's Basement in general. And I was like, hey man, I'm working on this idea. Would you want to do the art for it? And he said, sure, we'll work together. And just to tie this whole thing in, I actually wound up writing a storyboard for a comic that's coming out in Poland now that he drew based off of my story. Awesome. And when he sent it into the publishers of the zine, they said, dude, we love this story. Don't change a thing.
Aww.
So there's a chance that we might team up and do more in the future with that.
I was going to say, as I was looking through this stuff, I'm like, yeah, I can see a comic book.
I want to do a comic book of Wozdek. Terribly so. But let's get the game going first.
Baby steps. Although the game really isn't baby steps. The game is very big steps.
It's me.
Who's that?
Pointing at you.
That's you guys should go pick this game up as soon as he puts it out.
Yeah, do you have a pre-launch page yet, or like how can we follow this?
You can definitely follow it at my name that you see on the screen at team_Drews_basement is my Instagram. You can follow me on there. I'm going to set up a new pre-launch page soon, but it's going to go live October 8th, 100%. I'm perfectly in line to get that done. There's a few different videos on YouTube of me explaining how the game works. And it's again, if you have an existing Super Dungeon collection, you can reuse 100% of it. If you have nothing, you can pledge the core pledge, which will give you all the enemies you need, plus the 5 starting heroes that you need to just play the game. And all the tiles. So no matter what, you can play Super Dungeon.
I'm looking forward to that.
I like that. Yeah, it sounds simple. I like the fact that you're making it accessible to people. Because some people would just buy it, man.
Yeah. Listen,
there were a lot of guys a lot of people at the convention at Long on Tabletop that were like, dude, this is so cool. Like, do you have any to sell here? And I was like, I wish. Where they would have bought everything like on the spot. I felt really
with the crowd you had, they definitely would have picked up a bunch of stuff and then just took it with them.
People waving their wallets like, shut up and take my money.
Listen, I did have a bunch of minis and some collective foil cards with them to use.
Oh, that works.
Yeah, and I sold a lot of heroes that weekend, which was really cool. And I printed out some oversized Funko Pop size ones that people could take home and paint.
That's awesome.
Miranda's like, I can't wait to show this to my friend group. They are going to love this.
I love you, Miranda, and your friend group.
Oh, yeah. In terms of getting into the game, like, how easy is it? Like, is it something that can be played in like a couple of hours, or like, is it something that has to be done over multiple campaigns?
So a basic dungeon will take you, if you do 3 to 4 heroes, just an hour. We've run it in an hour, 3 to 4 heroes. We're kind of super nerds, and like we're all like professional World of Warcraft raiders. So like an hour is like, this was like, oh, we got this, and like an hour is easy. But for people who just like the board game, hour and a half, 2 hours if you do a bigger dungeon. And the way I've written the raids is they're split up into wings, so you don't have to spend 12 hours doing a raid. Like, you can just do one wing and then technically hit your save point, eliminate that, and then the next time you guys meet up to play, do the next wing all the way up until you do the final dungeon boss. So you can essentially, like my group, we meet every couple of weeks. So every couple of weeks, we'll play like a new dungeon. We'll level our characters. We'll do a town stay. And then when we get to the raids, do a wing. All right, see you guys in a few weeks. We'll tackle the next wing, and hit the save point, And so I've made it where it's not, you don't have to be a hardcore player and commit a lot of time. But if you want to, you can.
Excellent.
I love that.
Yeah, because I would love to be able to spend 6 hours a day on a game, but
exactly
those days are over.
Well, I mean, even as old as I am, once a year I still like to do a Saturday Super Dungeon day where basically we start at like 10 in the morning and we play till like midnight.
Nice.
That sounds like
I remember those days in the ancient times.
Yeah, the before 4 times.
I mean, we still do it. I'm pretty sure I nap at some point, but
you do what you got to do to get through the day, right?
I remember we would hit a Saturday, play D&D into Sunday. Yeah.
I still can't believe I played like D&D for 24 hours straight, and I'm still alive. Well, I was like 10 years ago. I can't do that now. I would die. Like, that's it.
I mean, that's kind of like how I play video games now. I'll play a video game on Sunday until I get to the save point. Once I get to the save point, then I just stop playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a dungeon master for 28 years. So, like, I've done the overnights. The craziest one I ever did was we did a Cthulhu night where it was basically until the last player was down.
Right.
We just kept running. So it went from like Friday afternoon until Sunday afternoon, and it was disgusting.
Oh my God.
It was horrible.
I would start like hallucinating, like, somewhere midway through Saturday.
It was tough.
That's what would happen. Like even with our regular little D&D, after a certain point, we were like, we gotta call this thing, because now everybody's just playing a certain way, and I don't think we should be playing this way.
Yeah, everyone is just like cursing, killing everything. Like, all right, I think we all need like hot chocolate and a nap right now.
Exactly. And or at least an intermission where we go outside and do other stuff.
Like breathe some fresh air, get some sunlight,
change some clothes, take a shower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
Exactly.
Touch grass, like they say.
Drew, I like what you're doing, and just from the reaction at tabletop, and as soon as you said you had it there, and I was gonna say people are gonna want to buy this. People are gonna want to pick it up right there and go.
Yeah, listen, it was truly humbling, because I actually had one guy come from Florida, one guy came from Iowa, just to see the game in person.
Wow.
And I was like, I just gave them so much free things.
You're like, here.
I was like, here, just. I'm like, you bought
please
take the rest.
You have traversed many miles. Take this.
Here's your
Dangerous
quest
to
item.
go home alone.
It was one of those moments that is like, as a grown man, that you're just like, my heart is like melting right now. Like, like I hugged them and I almost cried saying goodbye to them because I was so touched by them coming out. It was really cool. Chris and Ryan, if you're watching, thank you guys again for coming out. That was so cool.
They rolled a nat 20 on persuasion. That's what happened.
They maxed out the charisma stat. Exactly. I was done. It was really cool. Like, we all went to dinner and everything. It was really, really nice and really humbling. But to see everyone's reaction to it was awesome. It was just that Kickstarter page is, that is something else, man.
Yeah, Kickstarter is, oh my God. I love it and hate it at the same time sometimes. This is someone who's done like 12 campaigns, and I still have such mixed feelings about it.
Sometimes it's the internet in general. Like, you hear something cool, you be like, "Wow, that's cool," and you go online and you see everybody complaining and this and that, and then you go talk to your friends in real life, and they're just as hype as you are. Sometimes they're like, "Yeah, that's cool, that's great,"
Yeah, I definitely spend a lot less time online because it's toxic.
It's like whatever. I mean, it's like whoever's the most negative is like what's.
Like, it carries the most for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, like whoever's the most negative is the most attention, but
I think even as like a creator, there's something weird, like something like just psychologically weird. Like, you're gonna have 100 people being like, yeah, your comic is awesome, and then there's like that one person that's like, this is just absolute trash, and you're just like, oh, knife in my heart, like this is the worst thing ever.
Batman did it. Oh, exactly. This one idiot got me.
And it's such an irrational reaction, because like that there's like 100 people who are just like, yeah, this is awesome, and then why are you giving so much preference to the one person who's just like, this sucks?
I mean, because at the end of the day, like, while we are our worst critics, we want everybody to enjoy what we do, and it does suck when you like, 'cause it's inevitable, right? Like, there's always going to be at least one person that's like, you know what? This is okay. It's like, oh, this is okay, or I didn't really like this, right? You're always going to get that like one person.
Even worse if it's someone who is just saying it to hurt your feelings and you know that, but like at the same time you're still just so salty about it. Like, no, this is the reaction they want. Like, why are you giving them the reaction they want?
But these are things that you pour your you give your time and your energy, and you spend days and days and days on this, and just for someone for like 1 second to say it sucks. I mean, it's just like, wow, like
who the hell are you to say that?
It sucks, and then it went back to sleep. Like you worked up for like weeks, days, sometimes years.
Oh god, yeah.
I mean,
that shit always annoys me. Like,
the human brain is like a mistake.
As someone who used to do a lot of like critical, like used to do a lot of reviews of books, both indie and mainstream. It always annoys me when I see someone just go, "This book sucks." Like, okay,
tell me why.
What about it did you not like? Like it very well may. Like, and this is even for books that like aren't mine, or I don't have an investment in. It's just like, all right, why does it suck?
Yeah,
like, explain what did you
because
what not like, and like I'm definitely not a guy that's when I was doing my time doing like critical reviews on stuff, especially with indie books. There were people that I gave glowing reviews. There were people that got, I brought the hammer down. Like, I'm not afraid to give people feedback, but like you've got to be constructive in what you give, and like let people know this is what you did right, and this is what didn't work.
All right, but real talk, how many angry, hateful responses did you get after writing something that was critical of something that was not that great?
So it's actually funny. The one big one I remember, I didn't get anything from the people that I wrote the review for. Like, they didn't respond to me at all. But I got like 12 messages from people that I had written reviews for and given them positive reviews, and they went, "This is sucks that comic is not good. This makes the review you gave me feel way more worse."
Wow.
Because it's like at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people who do reviews, especially of indie books, because these are passion projects, right? Like everybody pours so much into them, both like emotionally and physically, but like also fiscally. It's expensive to do these books. And so like everybody I feel like tries to tiptoe around the books that they don't like. And like if there's a book that they don't like, they just won't talk about it. But like I feel like, especially from an indie standpoint, if there is a genuine desire to actually compete and overcome what is like mainstream books, like be able to have your book sit next down to a Marvel or DC title and have a genuine shot at a customer picking your book over it, then we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to be honest about what works, what doesn't. And like, none of this stuff is personal. But like, you gotta be willing to kill your darlings. This is a standard thing in writing, and this is a standard thing in making your book the best it can be. The red pen is your friend. Listen to it. Like, yeah, it sucks that like you finish your script and you're like, I'm happy with this. This is great. Guess what? Your editor should be tearing that your first pass a new one. If he's not doing his job. He or she is not doing their job. Like,
I mean, I think sometimes you might need a little bit of tough skin, but I think if someone gives you if you work on something and someone gives you a review that they tell you why you don't like it, and you get enough reviews, you can kind of say, well, this person didn't like it, but how to explain this. Someone will say, like, I don't think it's funny. I don't like your art. Like that, you're never gonna win that person. You can say, okay, this is just not for you. But then someone else could say, hey, I like this and that, but these are other things I don't like. Like, you can work on those aspects. There are some people who do something and be like, if you're doing comedy, and they'll say, well, this is just not funny. I mean, you're never gonna do anything to please that person, which is fine because not every form of art is not everything anyway. That's totally fine. But there's someone who will say, someone else might come along and say, hey, I like this, I didn't like that, I didn't like this, and like that, and you might say, oh, you know what, there's a few points there. Okay, I can work with this. And that
the compliment sandwich.
I think anything is better than it sucks. I mean,
yeah, no, 100%. I come from the world of the military, and so when I do reviews, I structure them after the AAR, which is an after action review. So it's you give 3 sustains, 3 improves, right? What are 3 things that you guys did well? What are 3 things that you guys did bad? And then or that need to be improved upon, right? Like, and just focus on that, because like at the end of the day, I want to see more people succeed and what have you, but there are also things where it's like, hey, you guys need to work on this. Like, one of the things that I see a lot of indie writers struggle with is pacing and character voice, right? Like, and that's something that's a lot of practice. Like, pacing is a bitch and a half. Pacing an issue is not easy. It takes work. It takes doing more books. It takes studying. It takes it takes the effort. Character voice also takes a lot for you to learn. There are ways to go about it. You just need to go and look into them. But like, I feel like a lot of people will get up in their feelings about stuff. I know that they do. I like a couple weeks ago, I was doing a show with Dave Brink at Genuine Comics. He has a show where we we go through and look at people's campaigns that they send to us for review. And so I was talking about this one guy's book. His campaign had over 3 dozen spelling errors on it, and not just on the campaign, inside art graphics. Like
get
that
a
are
beta reader, get a few beta readers, like show it to your cousin, show it to your dad or something. Be like, can you read this? If not, then I'm not doing my job.
And I was calling him out on it on the stream, and then he threw the biggest temper tantrum on Twitter.
Wow.
And I was just like, all right, man.
Bro, it's not my fault you can't spell.
I was like, look, you sent your campaign to a show that's whole purpose is to judge campaigns on how they present the book. I gave you that feedback. Might not like what you heard, but it doesn't make anything I said wrong. Like, homie, a 3rd grader could spell better than you on this campaign.
Yeah, see, my thing is, like, sorry to cut you off. Like, if someone was saying, like, all right, well, you have like a billion spelling errors in your campaign, you know what I'm gonna do? After I'm done, like, crumpling up in a pile of shame, I'm gonna go fix those as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So like nobody ever.
You gotta double down and make.
Clearly, I'm doing it wrong.
Dude, even if you can't afford an editor, afford somebody that you know that can handle that.
Ask your friend. Like, I ask my friends all the time. I'm like, here's the preview page. Like, did I misspell anything? Is there any grammar weirdness? And like, they'll give me feedback, and I'm like, okay, great, thank you. Like, asking your friends is free. If you don't have any friends, then you might need to reassess your life choices.
And that's the saddest part about this, though, is they weren't even like spelling errors for like difficult things. It was like simple crap, and it's like, dude, Kickstarter has, spell check.
Yeah.
Your browser has spell check.
Exactly.
Like, everything has spell check. Download Grammarly. Do something.
For a second there, I thought you were about to say that the guy misspelled Kickstarter on the Kickstarter.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I don't care, but that was the thing. I remember seeing all this stuff, and I'm like, and I straight up said, is like, if it is projects like these where this is where a negative stigma of indie can come in, because people see this stuff, and now you speak for everyone else.
Yes.
And everyone else is busting their ass off to put out something, and you couldn't even bother to use basic ass spell check. Like,
it really does sink the whole ship, because it's like, oh, look at this indie creator. They don't know what they're doing. This is why publishers will never pick them up. This is,
but that sets the tone for our entire scene. What if that was the first indie book that's like a guy was being talked to, like, hey man, you should go check out more indie projects, and then he goes and that campaign's the one that pops up first.
Wow.
Yeah, no, like homie's probably never going back to Kickstarter, never checking out another indie book. It's like, oh, it's all a bunch of third graders just like doing whatever.
I wound up doing a voiceover or audio book version for someone who put out a book, and I remember recording the audio of it and just constantly finding like these, maybe not so much misspellings, but the way the sentence was structured, like run-on sentences, repeated use of like the same term consistently. And I reached out to him. I said, "Hey man, I'm like, I really don't want to insult you, but who looked this over? Like, who did this?" And he's like, "Oh, I gave it to a bunch of friends and family and blah blah blah." I was like, "I'm not saying this insultingly. Don't show these books to yes people that want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
Give it to people that want to see you succeed, but have the guts to tell you, hey man, look, you've beheaded a goblin like 62 times in 100 pages. You have to find a different way to extinguish these goblins, something like that." And he was really open to it because I said it nice, but I think that's the other thing is like, I had a guy who offered to edit and review my rule book for WASDEC. And I said, you're not a professional editor. I'm not going to take you on. I have an editor lined up. Thank you. He wound up just blasting me on the community the whole time, saying that my game was garbage.
Wow.
I mean,
so it's such a weird.
That's shitty.
What is wrong with people?
It's just it's annoying. Like, and like that's the thing is, it's just I don't even have words for that. I will say, I think sending out your work is good. I always recommend you send it out to 10 people, 3 you barely know.
Yep.
Like 2 that are like good friends that will call you out. Like and then 1 to a family member. And that's effective. Like you just do that. And then if everybody gives you like a, hey, this is really good, that's when you can go and do your first pass with an actual editor.
Right.
Because those people aren't professionals. You're just effectively putting your toes in the water going, okay, do I have something here?
Right.
That's how I would handle it.
And that's what I had lined up. I had a guy who was a professional editor lined up, and this guy's like, "Oh, I'll do it for free," and blah blah blah. I'm like, "But I don't know you, and you don't do this professionally, so why would I go with you?" Oh, this
also,
guy's
like,
just
why is he so desperate to edit for free? Like, what is going on there?
It's the Super Dungeon community. They're so bizarre. Some of them are so angry that they just want to be involved.
You see it in comics too. A lot of people will go and offer editing services for free initially because they want to get some professional creds under their belt. But like, to me, it's always a whole you get what you pay for thing. If somebody comes to me offering their services for free, I'm not expecting to get anything out of them. Yeah. Like as nice as it sounds, like, hey, you can sit here and tell me that you're going to edit my book for free, but are you really going to pay the amount of, like, at that point, are you going to pay more attention to the errors and the storytelling and this, that, the other that I wouldn't already be doing?
I think also a lot of people just don't know what editing is, and they think that it's just like glorified spell checker. So they don't actually bother to talk to you about pacing or character voice or anything like that. And they're just like, "Oh, you misspelled this word," and it's like, "Okay, gee, thanks, spell checker."
It's like okay, like, hey, this page needs X, Y, or Z. Like, also like page layouts and stuff like that. Anyways.
It's a whole thing. Editing itself is like a whole skill set that people don't quite understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's different types of editors too.
Yeah.
My favorite editors are like the type that, well, it depends on the work, but a lot of times the work is like you're trying to say something and they'll look at it and like they're not really trying to write the story for you or tell you what to do. It's like, hey, why don't you try it this way or why don't you try it that way? Like they're just giving you different ideas and having you look at it different ways. Like those are those are my favorite kind of editors, and
that would be
they're not writing for you. They're not telling you what to do, but they're saying, hey, try it this way, try that, or think about this, think about that.
Right. It's like I get what you're saying, but like, how about trying it.
Yeah,
like
that would be like line editing, right? Like going through and making sure that, hey, I get what you're trying to say here. The way that you have it worded here is a little bit clunky. Let's shift it around like this so that it flows a bit better off of the tongue. Like stuff like that. So that would be like line editing. But there are certain people that need a bit more aggressive than that, where it's like,
well, it always depends on the work too. So some people need way more help than that. But
yes, like that's where developmental editing comes in. There's all sorts of stuff like story editing, like all sorts of different branches of that, and like. I've done that stuff before, but it's one of those things where the more intense of an editing job it is, if you're coming to me and saying that you're going to do that for free, nah, man, I don't trust you worth shit. I have straight up turned down work before as an editor because like a person came to me with, we will put script and asterisks. But like, I was like, I understand what you're saying, like what your pitch is. Your script doesn't reflect that, and it's barely a script. And I have too much on my plate right now to take this on and be a developmental editor for you because that's just too much. Like, come back to me at another point when you have a more fleshed out thing. Like it, and that's what it ultimately comes down to. You get what you paid for in any industry.
And folks, so you come on, you get all this advice and information and all the good stuff.
Yeah, I actually did not know that about like the different levels of editing, and I feel like that should be something that's more widely talked about because people are really just like, oh, I need an editor, whatever, an editor, but like it's like no, I guess they need like a very specific type of editor.
Yeah,
and it would help to know the category so that they understand what they need, so they're not going to the wrong person and everyone's just wasting everyone else's time. And yeah, I learned something today.
That's why we watch the show, people. And you people, you tell people you just came in, you missed half that stuff, so go rewatch it.
Yep. Missed out on some good stuff here.
Everyone send all your scripts to Ralph.
Oh my god.
I need my own editor. Don't send it to me because you're just gonna get all the crazy stuff I write.
Everybody needs an editor. I need an editor. Like if Neil Gaiman and Alan Moore needed editors, there's no reason why any of us shouldn't be doing the same. Full stop.
And that's the final word.
Yep, that's the bottom line.
Final word on editing.
Exactly. So Michael, tell the people all the good stuff about your stuff as I show it one more time.
Well, you can back the Embrace 2 on Indiegogo. We have 21 days left. It is a story about fatherhood, loss, and the dynamic between justice and vengeance as Clarence Griffin, a grieving father, teams up with the ghost of his son, David Griffin, as the spectral hero, the Embrace, as they bring David's killers to justice. We funded within the first 30 minutes on Indiegogo.
Amazing.
We are at 200% funding. And at spitting distance of our second stretch goal, please hop on and help us continue to succeed despite Indiegogo's best efforts to screw us over.
So grease the wheel, seduce them. What's the second stretch goal?
Second stretch goal is we are turning the Rini Strachowski and Yvonne Pineda cover into a lava holofoil cover.
Lava.
Yeah.
Oh. You gotta love of that, people.
Haha,
Oh,
shit there. Love me a dad joke.
Oh, that was good though.
So that's straight from the source.
Lots of good stuff. We also just added 2 more original art pages, and that's another really cool thing. Dean does all of his inks traditionally, so he does his pencils digital and then prints them out, inks over them. So there's lots of original art to get on the campaign.
I saw that over here.
That's really cool.
When we were talking before, we ended up on top of it. Here we go. Yeah, dude, that's a pretty cheap price.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Well, so, and for anybody who's interested, that 2-page spread that everyone likes, you can purchase that. it's still there.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh wow.
It's beautiful. Look, the car crashing through. All the bits and pieces.
It's always great just to see someone's inks. Like
Exactly.
just the inks without color. It's always like it is amazing.
And it's so funny because you know people always want like original art and you see all these Indiegogos and Kickstarters and they actually put the art in there and people don't buy it and I'm like, what the hell are you waiting for?
So like
don't even get me started.
We've sold a whole bunch of original art on this campaign. I think Indiegogo does better on the original art because
interesting.
Well, like it takes the money out immediately, right? So like with Kickstarter, nobody wants to wait like 30 plus days for like a 500 plus bill to be taken out of their wallet. So like I honestly think that's where Kickstarter has like a little bit of a hindrance there is the fact that it takes the funds out at the end of the campaign. Nobody is going to want to buy original art off of a Kickstarter for that reason alone. I feel like it would be like outside of like buying during like the last 24 hours before funds get taken.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That actually does make sense. Never thought about it like that.
No, it's that's actually I've never thought of it that way either. That's really really insightful.
I try. I'm not always.
There are a lot of people who still think that they get charged right away for Kickstarter, though. Like I've explained things to people, and they're like, "No, but I still have to wait until payday." I'm like, "Really? Like you're not getting charged until like 2 weeks from now?" Like,
I'm definitely one of those people where I don't like to pledge until like I can take a look at my budget and then be like, okay, by the time that this takes out, I will be fine. Like I should be able to make that swing. So I usually back like second or third week of a campaign.
I just back things and I'm like, this is future me's problem. Which I do not advise operating like that at all.
I'm a single dad, so I'm not allowed to operate like that as much. So. It's like,
oh my god.
There are other lives at stake there. I get it.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, it's your turn.
So basically, you know, I'm doing Wazdek, which will now be renamed the Plague Throne, a Super Dungeon expansion powered by Wazdek, because apparently Wazdek is not a popular term. It's not renowned enough apparently. So basically, it's just I've made an expansion to Super Dungeon Explorer, where your entire collection of Super Dungeon just gets moved forward. I haven't changed any of the core rules. I've just made it where you can expand and campaign and level your characters. That's actually going to be the box cover art right there.
Nice.
And, we're going back live October 8th. It's going to be pretty much pick and choose what you want from the new stuff, add it all to a cart, and, you're good to go. It's really, if you're a fan of that game, all it does is let you dust off your collection and play it again and fall in love with it all over again.
I think one of the important things about what you're saying is that even if you're not a fan, you can buy like a little tiny bit of the game and then try to figure out if you like it or not.
Right. Yeah, you can get the core pledge, which will give you enough heroes and enemies and tiles and everything to play the game right out of the box if you've never played before. And then ideally, what will happen is if this is a success, there's a big surprise at the end of the book if it succeeds.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, that I can't share. But it is, if things go well this time around, which I truly believe they will, because I learned a lot through the first Kickstarter campaign to relaunch it and have success with it.
I feel like it's last time you just had so much stuff out of your hands. Because who would have thought that you would get that bit of news right before your Kickstarter started?
Yeah, it feels like wrong place, wrong time.
Exactly.
Yeah, listen, it was brutal timing. It was it made a hostile community around a game.
Yeah.
Very hostile again. So, listen, it is what it is. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not mad at myself. It was what it was, and I learned a lot. So I'm just going to recollect and put it back out October 8th. And one of the really cool things that I'm going to release during the Kickstarters, because that's Halloween time, one of the things in the game is festivals and world events. So I'm actually going to release a bit of the Halloween event from the rulebook for people to just download for free and play, where they get to do little horror mystery games and stuff that build into the game and make it a lot like you do little mini games.
Drew, we're booking you now. You're coming back for our
Yes.
October Spook Fest.
Hell
Like
yeah.
all October.
I'm in. You let me know.
Because Michael, you're welcome too, because you got this supernatural
I'm
book.
definitely going to be coming there. Just let
All
me
right.
know what the stuff is. The Embrace is like perfect for Halloween. He's
Definitely.
Ooh, that picture. All I can say is that's part of the surprise at the end of the book. That's all I can say about that.
I feel like there's a little D20 right there.
There is. So my artist has incorporated my little logo into a lot of my artwork, and it's been really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I've poured a lot of myself into this game in terms of just really like just trying to make this thing happen. And honestly, the main reason I'm doing it before anything else was I really wanted the community to have something to continue growing their game and continue playing it, because it's a phenomenal game. It's a ton of fun.
I like the fact that this is something it's a little different. You don't have to be like totally into it. You can be on the outside of it, because some of these other systems you have to be in there. You have to put all this money down.
You have to read like a 400-page manual, and like it's like college all over again. You're pulling all-nighters studying, and then you got to prep your game, and it's the whole thing. It's like writing your whole thesis all over again.
I will never disclose the amount of money I've spent on this game over the course of the past 12 years because my wife might be watching. But I literally have two. I'm talking. I have two 8-foot cabinets from IKEA, double doors, that are filled with these minis. I own literally everything for this game.
Wow.
It's not an addiction. I can quit when I want to.
You know what, though? I mean, in all fairness, it is like over the course of 12 years. And like, for instance, like the Caverns of Roxor box was $50. It's not like I'm dropping 500 a pop.
A long time. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, like, if you look at my collection, you're like, damn, that's a lot of money he probably spent on this game.
I completely feel you, because I'm looking at my collection, my comic collection right now. And if I were to buy this in one shot,
you would not have a house anymore, my friend.
No. I bought this over years. Yeah,
I've had people make me offers on my collection ranging in the upward thousands.
What a phase.
Damn.
Woo. Yeah, because I own the stuff that you had a hard time getting when the game was in full production.
Wow.
Yeah,
dude,
so
the stuff you got made is just like amazing.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel. How like you've seen some of these games and you look at their pieces and the pieces look lacking.
Yeah, it's like not a lot of detail. Like sometimes the 3D printing's a little choppy.
Yeah,
and you're like,
the details. Oof.
Yeah,
so
I'm loving the details on this.
Some I not neglected to mention, but forgot to mention. So my initial run of minis was done by one of the artists that they had do their minis.
Ooh.
And then he got absorbed by another contract, and he said, "Hey man," he's like, "I can't do your second run. I had to fully dedicate to this other thing." I said, "Okay, no problem." The artist I got to replace him was the last artist that they used for all the stuff before the end of the game. So I have the Super Dungeon modelers modeling my minis. So it's very compatible, and the art is very close.
Hey, this is pretty.
Awesome.
Thanks. That's me and Mr. Zoe, my dog Enzo, just chilling.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
This is awesome. This is really nice. Did you do this?
No, a friend did that. That's gonna be my new loading screen. I have artwork, but I don't do digital. I only do like hand painting and stuff. Yeah, I don't. There you go. There's the guy who did a lot of my artwork for me.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, he's awesome.
This actually shows off his range. Damn.
So you ready for
this? That's really impressive, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done all that. Plus, he did the chibi art behind me. But here's the other thing. Coincidence would have it that he would actually come to Long Island for work, and we met up for ramen. And I took him out to lunch, and we got to meet in person all the way from Poland. It was really cool.
Wow. That's a good
you
story.
got people traveling to see you. That's amazing.
Well, that was work related, but I used it because he's like, I'm staying in a hotel in this city, and I was like, oh, that's like 6 towns over from me. Let's meet up for lunch. So it was really cool to actually meet him in person. Somewhere on my Instagram, I had that picture. but that's some of his artwork too. Unfortunately, that hero will not see the light of day.
Oh,
he will if we can get beyond the initial release.
Okay.
all right. We got to find a way to make this succeed.
Exactly.
So she's one of the new minis, little night elf rider.
Folks, I'm showing you all this from his Instagram, so and tell them which Instagram to go to. Go ahead, Drew.
Oh, my name right on the screen at team_Drews_basement.
Already followed you, friend.
Also, already
love you. I love you. But listen, I'm it's really a hobby account. It mainly shows a lot of WASDEC stuff because that's what I'm mostly working on now. But like right now, I'm working on painting a Warlord Titan for Warhammer 40K.
Ooh.
Which is the 2.5 foot tall one. Yeah.
Wow.
But again, I've also been a dungeon master for 28 years, running a homebrew campaign for 28 years. So like you'll see stuff like that on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also a power lifter, so you'll see random stories of me lifting a lot of weight, So, but if you like chibi, you'll see a lot of things. Yeah. But you'll mainly see the chibi.
Now.
You feel like a what?
I feel like a slacker now. I gotta get my power lift game on.
By all means, come through. Be a muscle mommy. They're all over Instagram.
I'm trying. I'm working on it.
Yeah, my last session I made a post because my trainer ran out of weights. He's got to buy more weights.
Oh man!
Is it because you lifted all the weights and there's no more weights to lift?
Exactly.
Literally what happened.
That's a problem.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. One more fact, and then I'll shut up. Back when I was really, really training and hardcore like powerlifting before I took a break, I peaked at a squat for one time only, 900 pounds.
Jesus.
Wow.
The kind where the bar, like where you see it, like where the bar bends and bounces as you go down because there's so much weight on it. I did that one time and never again.
Wow.
That's one more time than I'll ever do. I'll tell you that.
I gotta say, when I see that weight bending while the guys are picking it up, it always makes me nervous.
Yeah, listen, it's scary, but it also lends to the question how you did miss me at Long Island Tabletop because I'm a large man.
I don't think I missed. I don't think I didn't see you. I just don't think I was able to get to you.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, that was crazy.
It's a good joke.
But yeah, so you'll see all that on my page, but mostly you'll see the WASDEC stuff now because that's what I'm really focusing on until October, and then hopefully at the end of October we have a successful game going out to people.
And folks, we'll have them back for our Spooktacular in October, so you guys can enjoy and start buying and do the thing.
I'm all about it.
Oh yeah,
and I appreciate it.
And by then, Michael will probably be on his Kickstarter.
I hope by October I should be. I will say this. So one of the things I am doing here is I'm prepping a preview comic for my next book after the Embrace 2, and that preview book will likely be available by then, and people can buy that for pretty cheap. I'm selling the previews for $5 each, and then like $5 for shipping, so it's like $10. So it'll probably just be a whole thing of you send me the money via PayPal, I'll pack it in a Gemini or something, and send it your guys' way,
like an ash can.
That's exactly.
It's a pretty big ash can at 8.5 by 11 color. But yes,
that's what I remember from being a kid was the ash cans, and that when I finally ran into one, I was like, "What the fuck?"
If it weren't for how epic in size and scale and everything it was, I would be comfortable calling it an ash can. But I want people to showcase. I want to showcase to people what we're going to be doing with this.
That
book.
Actually makes sense.
I'll tell you what. If after this stream is over, because obviously I don't do it while we're live, if you guys all want to send me your addresses, I'll send you little WASDEC care packages.
Hell yeah!
Yes.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, we'll talk after, but yeah, I'll do that.
Whoa!
What?
Yeah. So this is from Elysian Fields Reborn, which is a reboot of my first series.
I love this. Look at that. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I have no words. Happy. I'm just like I need more of this.
Exactly.
Well, you will get more of this if you were on the mailing list of the Embrace. There's actually of the Embrace 2. There's a way to add this on to the secret tier that you got in the pre-launch link, and I might send that out to a couple people here because you guys seem cool. So,
we love you too. Oh my god,
I got a page in today that's pretty freaking. You know what? You guys are pretty cool. Hold on.
Wait, can I share things too?
Yeah, if you want to share something, share.
Oh,
we're a sharing bunch of people. I grew up with Mr. Rogers, and Mr. Rogers always told me that we need to share.
Also, yeah, sharing is caring.
Exactly.
This is just between us, you know.
Between us and YouTube and Facebook.
Exactly.
Not Twitter because F those guys.
Yeah, because Twitter wants us to pay to stream.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna figure out how to hook up Instagram with the API key and all of that because.
Dude, I was trying to do it one of the times to test it out, but they want you to do that whole thing where you go this and then. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you go live?
You have to go to Instagram and like get a code and then put in the code so that it gives permission. I've done that with like Twitch and stuff back when I used to stream art things for like 5 minutes, and then I was like, no, this is dumb. I don't want to do it anymore. But
I feel like as long as I think you guys can do it, but if I try to do it, I'm gonna be here. Hold on a second, guys. It'll be the 80s. It'll be like, if I can just reach the anticlimactic.
You'll be like Hacker Man, like tapping away on the keyboard.
Woo!
Oh, look at that.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
Wow.
That is looking amazing.
Yeah.
The colors are great. Yeah, the colors are great.
Yeah, I love the colors. Oh my god.
We've got a pretty stellar art team on this, and I'm very excited to announce the people we've got that are doing variant covers for us, which you will find out when you get your preview books. So
there you have it, folks. Go support on the Indiegogo. Get the preview stuff. Get the secrets, man.
Get the things. Get the forbidden knowledge.
If you have to have in order to have that link, you need to have either backed a Nine Realms project before, which Raph, I think. I'll send you one because you or you need to have signed up for the Embrace 2 pre-launch list before we went live.
I gotta tell you, man, I went looking for money just to get your book because I love the concept. I also love the whole father-child aspect to it, and I was like, I gotta get this. And then it was like a treat to myself because you came on the show right before Father's Day, and like I can do Father's Day. It's like I don't have money, but I can do Father's Day.
I mean, hey, it's the perfect gift for yourself for Father's Day.
Exactly. So I just said, well, somebody else gave me money. You bought it for me. There you go. Man. All right, folks. Our friend here, Des, is so close to making her goo a reality, and we all want the goo cat because it glows in the dark. And it's a beautiful pin. And she's at 721. She needs to get to 750. Folks, that's like
2 pins. Just buy like 2 pins and you're good. Yeah.
So she's still got 29 hours to go. We can make this happen. There's even a better stretch goal at 1,000 where everybody gets a free pin who's ordered 2 pins.
Oh, fancy.
So come on, get it to 1,000. You know, all those people who ordered 2 pins can get a free pin.
So how do I share
totally
something?
not self-interested there, you know.
They're on the bottom. It says present.
Yeah.
Right. So you press the present, and you look for what you want to share.
Oh, slides. Slides. Your computer. Oh boy. You know what? I'll just share my screen. That
works. Just make sure there's nothing on your screen that you don't want to share.
Nothing incriminating on there.
Trust me, there's absolutely nothing incriminating on my screen. Actually,
with me, I just got to make sure I don't show any secrets.
Forbidden knowledge.
Okay. Let's see. Bear with me. I'm old.
Don't worry about it. We'll keep talking while you're doing your thing. This is a great thing. Des is an amazing artist. She does all these beautiful things, and like I said, it's a glow-in-the-dark pin. Why don't you want it? And it's all cats.
Yeah, cats are great.
Exactly.
I'm feeling the cat with the fish and stuff. Like that's really.
Oh,
cool.
That's the one I want.
It's so good. It is so good.
It just reminds me of me. So
staring into space.
Oh, here we go.
Sharing my screen. So this is what's going to be the end of the book if it succeeds.
Wow.
It's going to reveal that there is more than... So this is the Plague Throne. And what it's going to show at the end, this is the Cog Throne. It's going to reveal that there's going to be at least another 5 more books of content.
Ooh, that's a lot of content.
Excellent.
If it succeeds. But yeah, this is going to be the last page of the book.
Look at that, folks. You got a nice little preview here. Now you should want it even more.
This is a Bitten Apple TV exclusive.
There you go,
I
folks.
feel so
Bitten Apple
special.
TV exclusive.
And that guy is going to be basically how Celeste and Mr. Buttons are the big bad of the Plague Throne. He's the big bad of the Cog Throne book.
Very intimidating.
Where it's going to add more raids, more world events, more narrative dungeons, more crafting, all sorts of extra stuff you can do.
All right, I see Miranda's asking questions, and I see Nine Realms is trying to help. Here it goes.
That would be me.
I know. There goes the link. It's up. You guys can go get the kitties and help out Des get to her goal. Usually there's somebody in the comment section going, I don't want to go look for it, Ralph. So there it is. There's no excuse now. Just press the link and go.
Yeah, press the link, buy the thing.
Oh,
Making it easy for you guys out here.
And Miranda's been very helpful here and very active. Thank you. She wants to share it with her friend group.
Excellent.
She's good people like that.
She is. I like her vibe. This weekend there is a new convention in Brooklyn. It's a Brooklyn Anime Fest, and our very own Floofshmallow.
Floofshmallow.
There you go. That
Shen.
Shen. There you go. I can say Shen. Floofshmallow. There it goes. She's going to be tabling at Brooklyn Anime Fest. So, folks, she has beautiful art. Go check it out. We will be there at Brooklyn Anime Fest, and I'm trying to get them on the show so they can talk a little bit more about it. Floof herself will be here on Wednesday.
Oh,
maybe the guys from Brooklyn will be here on Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see.
Where is it in Brooklyn?
That is a good question. I can probably give you all the information once we get off the air because I'm gonna have to go look for it.
Yeah, because I work in Brooklyn, so.
Oh, cool.
So I'm probably close.
Oh, so if you're there, we can actually meet you.
There you go.
That'd be great. He's like, everything's in Brooklyn.
Yeah, me and Jason, we're residents of the Bronx, so we don't get anything fun. Or we get a few fun things, but not as much as Brooklyn.
Getting BronxCon August 3rd.
There you go.
That's right. BronxCon is August 3rd.
I'm gonna try to table there next year, but I gotta be good and save money this year. I can't be trusted at cons.
Of course, if you guys remember, Kaylee was on the show
Last Monday?
Yeah, last Monday. And she was able to get herself to Japan, but now she's trying to get the money together to get there. So now she can study in Japan for her art, and her art's already amazing. So I can imagine if she actually gets to go to Japan and study.
That's awesome.
That would be fun.
Nice.
So there's the Indiegogo. I'm going to put the Indiegogo in the comment section so you guys can help out. Helping an artist out, it's just, it helps out a lot. Right, Mata?
Yes, because God knows we artists don't have money to travel, so geez, it's rough out here.
Let's see. Space Cat. Why did Space Cat take over everything? I guess they want us to
that's
sell.
peak cat behavior. Cats just take over everything.
Just like real cats.
Samantha, give me your link because your link is usually up here, but I think Space Cat took everything over.
As space cats do. Where the hell is my link?
I see the link in the comments.
Oh, damn, Space Cat took over all the Kickstarter. Weird.
All right, there we go. There's my link. I put it in the chat.
There it goes. Now I can share it, and now you can all go and tell all the beautiful things, man. Go ahead.
Oh man, I thought I was off the hook here, but I guess I'll
were.
keep tooting the horn and fluting the flute here. I'm the artist and writer of Sacrimony, A Tale of Love, Life, and Death in no particular order. It's the story of a girl who died, and then she got better. And as with all mysterious resurrection stories, there's a catch. The catch is that she has no memory of her past, no idea why she has magical powers, or demon wings that she has to hide from society. It feels a lot like Saga, but if it wasn't in space and if the parents hated each other. So yeah, I'm still taking orders for digital copies. I've got like the physical book almost done, ready to submit to the printer, so that's going to be done this week. And yeah, I mean, if you're into checking it out digitally, there's issues 1 through 7 there. You'll get like a chunky trade paperback version of issues 1 through 5, which is like 184 pages. It's a lot. I've done a lot in the past 3 years, especially considering that I did all of the art and writing myself. So yeah, there's like 300 pages of story stuff there. And there's also another series that I work on called The Misadventures of Buddy and Friend, which is like if Sacrimony made you depressed, then you can read Buddy and Friend afterwards, and like it's a lot more lighthearted. It's funnier. It's kind of like, you know, your hit of like Wellbutrin after like a really bad day.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's so fun to read, and I still love the concept of the fact that it's a book all about rolling one.
Yeah, it's a fantasy comedy that feels like a D&D campaign where everyone rolls a 1. It's funny because I started it before I started playing D&D, but it just made so much sense when people explained it that way, and it's like, yeah, it does feel a lot like that. And also, yeah, the exciting thing is now that I'm done with wrapping up Sacrimony 7, I can start working on Buddy and Friend, which hopefully I would love to have live by the end of August, because like I could draw that book in my sleep, so it shouldn't take that long.
I'm looking forward to Buddy.
Oh, I know you are. Like we're all salty that like I didn't get to do it earlier because
Oh
of
my
like
god, yeah.
earlier drama, but yes.
Yeah, Matta had her own drama with having to cancel a Kickstarter.
Oh god, yeah, too many family emergencies to count on one hand. But yeah, everything's better now, so I get to work on Buddy and Friend after this. And yeah.
And folks, Mr. Fish was on the show last week as well. It was last week, yeah. Okay. I feel like today's been a long day. It feels like it's like the middle of the week.
Yeah, I'm like,
hey man,
and I don't even understand why.
So Mr. Fish has this beautiful book. It's his love story, because he's been working on this for 30 years, and it's the book that he's been creating all this time. It's Alice Lost in Wonderland. It's amazing. You know, if you guys know Mr. Fish, he does a lot of beautiful work, and I am still amazed that he's able to put out a book a month.
I don't know how he does it. Like I'm like, give me like 3 months, I'll do a book. Maybe if I'm lucky, 2 months, but a book a month. Especially with his art style too, because it's like, you know, he's not just drawing like little chibi guys or whatever. Like he's doing like full detail, full shading. Like Mr. Fish is not human.
No, he's not.
He's neither man nor fish. He lied to me.
Exactly. Mr. Fish also teaches, so you guys can go check out his page and his YouTube and his Patreon. He actually does a lot of rewards on his Patreon for you following him. And,
yeah, doesn't he do like a book a month as a reward on Patreon?
So
like
you
can
get the book even before it gets released on Kickstarter or Indiegogo or wherever he's putting it on.
He's an android. He's not a man or a fish. He's an android. Like I don't know how he does that.
How is he? And he's putting out books with that quality of interior every month.
Yes, it's ridiculous. I don't understand.
He says he doesn't sleep.
I believe it because I don't sleep either, so I understand.
All right, folks. We are at the 1:30 mark, which means we should have been over ages ago, but we were having so much fun that it just went on.
Sorry, I'm chatty.
Yeah, that's fine.
No. We love the longer shows, the geeking out, and then the 10 people that show up at the end of the show have something to watch.
You know what? When we have a longer show, it's because everybody clicks. Like if we have a short show, that's when I start worrying. Like, oh no, like are we boring? What's going on?
And she's right though. Every time we have a longer show, that means that everybody's doing their thing. The geekiness is flowing.
It's like you're meeting new people, but it feels like you're talking to an old friend, if that makes sense.
Boom!
Absolutely.
All right, folks. On this show, when it ends, before I make the mistake of ending it like the written writ again.
Oh man, how many times has that happened?
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
On this show, this happens. If you guys got your Deadpool and Wolverine tickets, what are you waiting?